Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. We are Techies, and today we are going to discuss and solve a React coding problem. Let's jump into the problem now. So we need to create an autocomplete input with a submit button. So we'll have an input component and a submit button component. And on submit, the text in the input should be saved to a list. Okay. When we enter the text in that input, a list should be visible below the input, showing all the elements of the saved list starting with that text. So this is similar to a Google search bar. Uh, Let me show it real quick so that you get an idea what I'm talking about. Uh, okay, so when I type V here, WE, so it gives me all the options starting with V. So similarly, we have to show this in our autocomplete as well. So whatever we type, right, and whatever data is there in the list, we have to autocomplete that data in the list below. Okay, and on selection of that element should be populated in the input field. Like if I click on weather, it should get populated like this weather. Okay, simple. All right, let's start coding now then. Okay, so I already have a template. This is a React functional component that I've created autocomplete, and right now I'm just returning blank fragments here. Let me start now and create few components. So let me use an input tag for input value. Right now, I'll just give a blank quotes on change. Uh, I'll give a blank function. Let's close this out. I'll create a button tag. I'll just make it submit for now. Okay. So button has this on click method. I'll just return a blank function for now. Blank arrow function. Same here. Okay, so I've created two fields, one input and one button field here. Let me add few state to this component. For text, let me use text and the callback function set text for setting up the state of text. I'll use state hook of React for this. Um, we are using TypeScript, so let me typecast it to a string, and the initial value I should pass as empty string. Just passing empty quotes. So this text should be the value of our input component. So let me copy paste text here so that I don't make a spelling mistake. So let me create an on change function for input for my input button input text field. Sorry. The on change, I'll just name it as on text change. I'll pass the event to it. I am not sure of the type of the event. I'll just make it any for now. I'll change it later on. Um, yeah, and I will set text here with event dot target dot value. Okay, so this is done, and on change, I'll call this function. Now I'll just remove that empty function from here. Okay. Now for button on click, I need to create another function const on submit, and here I will have to populate the list data. So whatever I'm entering in the text, I need to save it in a list data, right? And now this list data should be populated when I hit submit button. So what I'll do, I will create a ref for now. I don't need to create a state because I don't want my components to be rendering when I set the list data, because this is just setting the list data, not displaying it. Uh, so I'll just create a ref called list data for now. Use ref, typecast, use ref, use ref, typecast it to a string, pass an initial value of blank array to it. Okay. Now I'll just populate this list data here on submit. List data dot current dot push, and I'll push the text, whatever the text is saved in the input. Uh, Sorry, it should be a string array. That is why it was giving me this error. So on submit should be called on click of the button. So we've created two inputs, one input text field and one button for submitting that text value. Now we need to show the list below this, uh, below the text fields, right? Remember this? So let me bring it back. This list we have to create now. So this can be done. So let me create another component for it just for the granularity of this. I'll just create a component, um, which is basically a React dot function component. Okay, and for now I'll just make it like this, a blank component with just written few blank fragments. Oh, okay. Uh, I'll just call this list from here now. List. Uh, Fine. Let me start the app and see what is happening till now. Okay. Um, okay. So we have the input field now, and we have the submit button. Fine. I wanted this only for now. Now let's create the list component. So let's start putting something inside this blank list component. Uh, so list, we need to pass few items for the list, right? The list is comprised of several list items. Um, Let me create a prop for this. Items equal to some list. So this list should be a state because it will be changing based on whatever we are entering on text field. So let me create, what should I name it? I should name it like list items. Set list items. Function for setting the list items. Use state hook. Use state hook. And this will be a string array. So just passing the type to that and putting an initial value of a blank array here. Uh, is there a typo? Yes, there's someone I typo. Less list items here. So I have to copy this list items and pass it to the list component as a prop. So this prop should be also used here. So items is of type string array. Okay, so this React functional component takes a prop which is items and which is of type string array, and we are going to use these items in our list. Okay. Uh, so how are we going to use it? We are going to iterate over it using items.map, and we have one item and one index. Okay. We have this item and we have this index, and we will create a list tag over this, and which will have item, and just pass a key to this list tag, which is nothing, just our index. Okay, correct? Anything wrong here? Just pass it return here. Sorry, return. Okay, looks good. Let me try now. What happens? We are techies. Summit. Now let me type just W and see what happens. Nothing got displayed. Now what is the problem? Let's solve that. Ideally, we are techie should be have been displayed here. but nothing got displayed here. Let's debug our code. Then what happened here? Oh, one thing is that I should have put it below it. But let me do the styling part later on. But let's see what happened here. So I passed list. Oh, I have not set the list items anywhere. That is the thing. Okay. Uh, all right. So list items. So when I type something on the text, it should filter out whatever we have in the list data, right? Okay. So let me set some list item. So ideally this should happen on text change. So on text change, we have to find out which all which all items in the list data are starting from this particular text. Okay, got it. List data dot current. Let me iterate over this. Sorry, what happened? List data dot current dot for each item dot starts with. Oh, sorry, it's this item. I have to paste this item here, and I will return. Oh, I'll not return. I'll just set the list items as item for now. This is just for testing whether this list is getting populated or not. Uh, yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, where did this thing go? Oh, thing item. Argument of type string is not assignable to set action. Now, why is this coming? List data item is of type string that we know, and set list items is okay. Uh, so we have to set list items, and we have to, so this have to be a string array, right? So for now, just let's do one thing. We just need to see what's happening in the list, right? Let's first set the items, and then we will come to this part. Um, this data dot current. Okay. Let me comment out this. We'll come to this. I just went ahead of what we have to do right now. Uh, so let me enter something. We are techies, and now it's coming. The list item is coming fine. I think we are good. Let me do just VR and submit it and check if it is getting submitted. Now yeah, it is. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to filter out those elements in list data which are starting from whatever we have in the text. Okay, that we can do via filtering of the list data. Okay, so list data dot current. But for each, if item if item starts with the text, we are going to push it. So we'll create a temporary array. Just name it as list or the suggestion list or suggestion array. For now, just initialize it to empty array, typecast it to a string array, and use it here. String array dot push item. Okay. Now this item has all the, sorry, this suggestion array has all the items of the list data which are starting from the text that we are entering in the input box. Let me remove this and put suggestion array inside it. Now let's try out. R. Let me submit V. Now what should happen when I enter W? It should show me all things. And if I enter, it should show me all this. Okay, so what's happening? The So what is happening here? So the list items, I guess, are not getting cleared up here. Or suggestion array, let's suggestion array, string array. So what is the problem? Okay, let me do one thing here. Let me clear this up every time I do. Now this should be fine. We are, let me say V, let me say we are, submit, and then we say we are techies, submit. Now, if I type W, all three of them should come. If I type something else, nothing should come. This is working fine. We are, we are techies. Only techies should come. Yes. So this is working fine. So we've got an autocomplete working now. If I type something JJ, it should vanish. Yeah. So this is working fine. We are techies, and only we are techies should come. Now the next part is that when I click on this component, we are techies, it should get auto populated in the text. So how am I going to do this? I need to write an on click function on the list element. And what I need to do, I need to populate the text on basis of that, right? Okay. So I will pass another function to this. So two approaches. I can copy paste this inside our component, or I can pass an on change function as a prop to list component on list change. Okay, on list change. We create this function real quick. Const on list change equal to, so this will be a text and set text. So I'll just save the state of my input field, which is the text state, whatever I am selecting in my list. So let me add this in the list component. Let me just put it any for now. On click, and let me add this on click equal to on click. Okay, on click I need to add here also as a prop. Okay, so on click, and on click is calling on list change, and on list change we are setting the text, right? That is what we want to do. Anything else that we need to do? Um, okay, yeah. We need to, I think, yeah. We need, so when we click, this should be fine. Yeah, should be fine. Let me open the app now and see if that works. Let me refresh it once. We are techies. Let me save this, submit, and then let me say we are. Let me save WEV. And I think it got, yeah, it went as WEA. That's fine, no, not a problem. So let me type we are techies now. So I get this. Let me type this much only. And now let me click on this. We are techies. Oops, what happened? I think it came as an event and I need to make it text. And let me text dot target dot value. Okay, let's see now what happens. We are techies. Submit. We are. Submit. We. Submit. Now let me type we are keys. Let me click on we are techies. It comes as 0. Why? What happened? It came as a 0. What happened? Uh, Let me debug this in the console then. Even I'm not sure what happened here. Let's see. Auto complete. Let's see what is coming on this change. On this change. Yeah, on this change. I should have named it like on list selected something. All right, let me do that later, but let me do the select now. So text is coming as text.target. What value do we have? I think we need to this event. I think we need to pass the data as well. Um, okay, I think we need to pass on list. We need to pass the data as well. Click item. Let me see what happens now. Text. Let me quickly save everything again. We are. Oh, this is now a string. Got it. So now this is coming as a string because data is string, and I have to make it string. Okay, now I am hoping that this will work fine. Let me say WEV. We are. We are. I start. Oh, again, it's failing. What did I do? On click, I'm calling this list change, right? Let me quickly debug what is happening here. Console typer, I cannot read. So I'm not sure why is this getting called now because I did not click here. Uh, oh, why is this? I think it has not reflected my changes. Let me save again and let me name it properly first. On lists items selected. On list item selected for now. List item selected. Okay. Now let me quickly refresh it. We submit. We are. No, it's still not working. Some issues still there. We cannot update while rendering a different update batch. No. Okay, what's happening here now? Add list. To locate the batch state called inside, follow the stack space. Mhm. I think when I'm calling set text here, but I'm not selecting it. Why is it calling my on click? Uh, it should be called when I stop typing and I VR and I let me try again to find out what exactly is happening. VR, I click on submit. Does it hang here? Yeah, it hangs here when I click on submit. Now that is the problem. Why is it? Why is it calling on some when I'm hitting on submit? It should not call this function, right? Let me try again. V submit. Does it call that function? No, it doesn't. Does it show any error? No, it doesn't. Now if I type, it calls the on list item selected on click of my list. Why is it calling my list on click? Uh, it should not, right? It should not call on click of my list when I'm typing. Mm, on click item. Item is there. Return items. Click. Why is it calling my on click when I'm not clicking it? That's strange. Uh, because now this goes into a circular motion. I think it keeps on calling it. Uh, cannot rendering a different. Yep, this is a problem. Now, how do we stop it? This is a list component, items, and on click I registered here. I don't know if it is due to this. I just pass an event to it. Does it even matter? Event, event, colon me. Okay, it was due to a long on-click signature that I had. Yeah, it's working fine now. Now let me select VR tech keys. It goes inside the debugger and it populates. Yes, we are done. Finally, so the problem with that was I think the signature of on click was not matching and it was getting called again and again. So now I decided the event, what event on click of the list tag passes and started working fine. All right, guys. So I think we are done. This is working fine. Let me demonstrate it once more. So we are clicking on V, submit. We are tech, we are submit. We are techies, submit. And let me type only W now. Let me type VR. Let me type VR techies. Okay. And then I select on VR techies. It gets selected. So yeah, this is the end state of the program. Usually, this coding interview problem is asked for around, I think the time limit for this is around 40 to 50 minutes. And it's a very important problem because many of my students, many of my juniors got this problem or somewhat similar problem asked in interviews. So a lot of students came to me and asked me to do this video, and here it is. Okay, all right. Thank you, guys. This is a wrap for this particular coding exercise. If you like the video, please hit the subscribe button and keep watching, keep learning, and most importantly, enjoy the process of learning. Thank you so much.